Going on, people? We got a quick update into the Karen Reed aftermath, right? The case is over, the verdict's over, but will justice ever be found? I want to see the feds get involved, is what I keep saying, man. There's some shady shit involving law enforcement, and that's a whole nother conversation. I go off on these tangents, but whether or not how you feel about Karen Reed, I don't know how anyone, even the people that hate her, and I'm not saying I'm a fan of her, right? I'm just saying there's some other funny style stuff where people were lying and things within that house and stuff with law enforcement entities. And unless the feds really get involved and do their due diligence, nothing's going to happen. They're not going to find out anything. And that's just a problem with law enforcement in general, with corruption, breaking the law and shit like that. Police don't fear repercussions because so often, like, don't get me wrong, cops will go away sometimes and go down for shit, but 98.889% of the time, they get forced into retirement. They lose their job and go get fired or hired somewhere else, or it just gets covered up. It's so hard for police to pay the piper for the shit they do, so they keep doing it. If the cops were really brought to justice like citizens, or somewhat like, because let's be realistic, cops are never going to uh, investigate cops the way they do citizens, right? But like even 50%, 75%, if it was just a regular thing, cops would fear it. And I believe the corruption and just all the bullshit they do would drastically stop. But anyways, that's my little tangent on that. Let me know if you agree and your thoughts on it. But what we're talking about here is this civil suit. As you see, defendant Karen Reed's motion to dismiss the plaintiff's complaint pursuant to Massachusetts blah, blah, blah. Now comes the defendant Karen Reed, who respectfully requests the honorable court dismiss count 10, 11, 12, and 13 of the plaintiff's complaint pursuant to Mass Civil Code for failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. As a matter of law, the plaintiffs have not, nor can they, present a claim that they have suffered emotional distress, and as such, these claims should be dismissed. In further support thereof, the defendant repeats and incorporates herein the memorandum of law in support of defendant Karen Reed's motion to dismiss the plaintiff's complaint pursuant to filed in conjunction with this motion. And what's it say? Whereof the defendant Karen Reed respectfully requests honor. It's just a lot of mumbo jumbo about enter an order dismissing, like saying it's a motion for the court to throw out the what's it called, civil suit. Let's see what people are saying. Actually, it's a great legal strategy and well worth pursuing. Karen Reed was found not guilty in the death of John O'Keefe, so therefore she did not inflict the emotional distress upon the plaintiffs. That's what the motion is saying, I would think, with all your game. Yeah, because whoever, this mass whole mafia, they hate Karen Reed. And I ain't mad at him for it, but they're just saying, but this guy's saying that's typical strategy. She was found not guilty. Why not try to get it dismissed? But as we know, civil, I mean, look at the OJ case. He beat the murder and lost the wrongful death. What's this say? As a matter of law, the plaintiffs have not, nor can they state a claim upon which relief can be granted insofar as any distress claims are subsumed by the wrongful death statute. Now, none of the plaintiffs can recover the negligent infliction of emotional distress based upon the occurrence of the alleged accident because they were not at the scene, nor did they witness the immediate consequences to the decedent. To me, that's exactly what they're doing. They're saying she's not liable for his death, so they're proven in criminal court. So this motion is just saying, like right here, the allegations in the complaint concerning the circumstances of the alleged accident and the defendant's purported statements and actions in the hours after the alleged accident cannot support a claim of intentional or reckless infliction of emotional distress. So at the end of the day, man, that is exactly what they're doing. They're saying we beat this in criminal court, so why should we be? That's the motion, and that is typical legal strategy. It's basic strategy. You know what I mean? When it comes to the civil thing, we beat the criminal, so throw out the civil. That's very elementary. I agree with the person responding to mass home mafia. This individual right here, Lorna, she says, you are aware that it is usual and customary to file this right. This is not out of the blue. It is what happens in courts, but you should know that, especially making a bold statement that Morrissey isn't an attorney. And he said, I've never said that Morrissey is an attorney. I said his role is that of a bureaucrat as the DA, not as a trial attorney, because it's accurate, particularly when speaking about him. I mean, but regardless, this is regular legal strategy in the civil case. And even though some people might be like, well, then why are we talking about it? It's good to talk about it because you see someone like making a bold statement like this. Karen Reed, the Ice Queen herself, asserts that the O'Keefe family has suffered no emotional distress from the untimely death of their loved one and ensuing harassment and circus on Karen Reed's orders. Like, he's just going off and, you know, like, listen, at the end of the day, social networks, social media, podcasts, YouTube content, it makes news and a lot of different narratives and stuff be discussed. And if we're not breaking it down and taking it for what you will, like if you just see someone throw some shit up and go, oh, look what they said, that's facts. Like, no, in my opinion, that's not facts here. This is typical. Whether or not how you feel about her, she beat it in criminal court. So, of course, immediately when it comes to the civil side of things, they put in for a dismissal. It makes absolute sense. We'll finish these comments and then we'll call it, man. But make sure all y'all out there subscribe to this channel, Crime Time Podcast. We're covering all this true crime stuff. But I need to hear from you guys, the people. I don't come on here and claim to be an expert. I want to engage and talk with y'all about all these true crime cases and crime stories and such. A lot of stuff's on the way, so please subscribe, hit the buttons, but more importantly, tap in. Let's talk. Do you feel Karen Reed was guilty? What do you think about what I was saying about police and the corruption and, you know, will the feds get involved? Let's talk about it all. This guy says, you call her the Ice Queen. Well, look in the mirror. You're the queen of crusty panties. Whoa, I ain't even gonna read that. Why haven't O'Keefe sued the NCDAO and MSP? Karen couldn't have caused any emotional harm because Karen had absolutely nothing to do with John O'Keefe's death. So again, I know people are very emotionally involved, or I shouldn't say it like that. People feel some kind of way about this case, right? But my thing is whether you are like, yo, fuck Karen Reed, she's guilty or not, I just don't see how anyone doesn't say law enforcement is on some bullshit, some shady shit, and the feds need to get involved and find out what really happened, what truly happened. The fact that they had the first verdict and they went back to trial the second time around without really any new strategy or any real new pertinent evidence. They tried to do the old expert witness shit and it didn't work. Like, that's an injustice to the family all within themselves. This case was not investigated correctly, and it's a shame to say we see that so often with true crime cases. It kind of makes me sick, man. This individual said that's not what she said. Oh, damn, it's getting, matter of fact, they're talking about crusty panties and just arguing with each other. So we'll call the video right here. But tap in, let's talk, subscribe, and I will get with you on the next one. Crime Time Podcast, out.